For many people who participated in Werner's training program, EST, and at Landmark Education, transformation wasn't just about transformation. It was a war between good and evil. Telling your story and running your racket were sins. Being your word was equal to perfection. Not being a possibility and disempowering source was evil. There is something about me that makes people think I am the Antichrist, or in alignment with the Antichrist. How do these people view the most significant or traumatizing events in someone's life as stories, but then the Bible as real? I was viewed as an Antichrist inside and out of Landmark. It got complicated because some people on the outside viewed Landmark and Werner as the Antichrist, and my participation as part of that. We have entered an age of complicated characters driven by the entertainment industry. People are not either the evil villain or the perfect savior. Good people can do bad things and bad people can do good things. Then there is this whole point of view and perspective where, depending on how you look at the situation, both sides are doing right. Today, we sacrifice our saviors faster than Jesus was. People are canceled on social media and are subjected to constant analysis and picking apart. Not to say that everyone who has been canceled is ultimately a good person. At some level, and for some people, transformation is not about making people good or bad. It's about absolute transformation. Then you have transformed good people and transformed bad people, taking things to the next level of humanity. This is a story I have already told, but I remembered a few more things and some memories are fuzzy. When I was around 6, my family and I went to an event surrounded around graduates and Werner. It was a mansion in Los Angeles. Werner was smoking a cigar and laughing in a jacuzzi. I went inside the house and found a teenager there, looking upset. I started talking to him and he told me that his dad owns the house and that his parents are getting a divorce. He was blaming Werner for the divorce. He expressed how much he hated Werner. He starts moving quickly while destroying things by knocking them down or pulling them off the wall. We then went outside to the jacuzzi and everyone was gone. Werner's golden retriever was wagging its tail. I don't remember if Werner's dog was male or female. I think it may have been a female and its name may have been Penny. The teenager violently pushes the dog into the water. I go in after the dog, trying to help the dog out. While standing on the step, the teenager may have pushed me in as well. Either way, the dog and I were both in the middle of the jacuzzi. Moments later, a furious Werner is standing over me, pulls the dog out of the water, and accuses me of trying to drown his dog. What may have appeared as me pulling the dog down was actually the dog helping me swim and saving me from drowning. I try to explain the situation, but he uses his technology on me. He tells me I am telling a story and running my racket on him. People start laughing and shaking their heads. The teenager is nowhere to be found, and I am blamed for everything. The next thing I remember is my family and I are standing on a tennis court at the mansion. We were then escorted out of the house. We were cast out of the inner circle and villainized. When I was a child, my family spent a lot of time at the center. They called the Landmark offices centers. During this time, Jerome was the center manager. Jerome was admired, respected, idolized, and viewed as someone with mystical powers. As a young child, I used to go into Jerome's office, and he would lock the door. After he was done with me, he would give me these Prisma coloring pencils. I kept these pencils for many years and treasured them. As great a memory as I have, I don't remember anything between entering the office and getting the coloring pencils. But I know something happened. When I was 12, my dad received a sum of money for me that he used to take me to Disney World. At his celebration of life, a girl shared how when she was 17 and he was in his mid-20s, they were together. He promised her the world, but she got nothing. When I was around 14, my dad and stepmom were taking a seminar that was led by Jerome. It was the first iteration of the seminar. He was developing it and leading it at the same time. I had completely blocked out the office incident, and all I wanted to do was meet Jerome. I talked to some of my family about meeting him, and they gave me advice on what to do. I finally had the courage to introduce myself. As he exited the classroom, I extended my hand and he flew by me so fast I didn't have a chance to get a word out. I later learned that he prophesied about the trouble I would cause. He didn't tell my dad because he didn't want to hurt him. Both of these statements are ironic given the amount of trouble that he and Landmark caused me and the fact that my dad was abusive. One summer, after turning 11, I stayed at my aunt's house. She was participating in the Introduction to Leadership program led by Richard. Werner had already left the country and Landmark education was established. I noticed a radical shift in my aunt's behavior. She was excited and energized. She appeared to be driven. I got present to something while alone, something that moved me. I grabbed a dictionary and started writing a letter. It was a thank you letter to Richard. I thanked him for my aunt's transformation. I wrote hidden messages in the letter and also how I wanted to meet him. He rejected the idea and said I had to wait until I was 18. Richard indirectly shared this letter when he would lead introductions by stating that people would write him letters thanking him for transforming their family members. It was only me who wrote him a letter. In my early 20s, while going through an identity crisis and uncertain of what direction to go, and having just quit my job at Landmark, my former manager said he could help me. He was an older gay man, and I thought he could provide some guidance. We started to hang out, and he would ask me very personal questions and would want me to go deep into details of the events. Landmark, like Scientology, uses these type of revealing stories to hold people under their control. In the end, he just wanted to date me and further indoctrinate me. I didn't stop believing in transformation, Werner, and Landmark education until around 2018. I grew up believing the transformation that Landmark provided was the key and answer to the world becoming a peaceful and functional place to live. I want there to be a way for people to transform their lives. People go from being the scum of the earth to a leader in their community at Landmark. Richard often said, people make this into another good thing to do. I can see how this can be contradictory, but complex people and organizations are not just one thing. I don't want to label Landmark as a cult and cancel them. Proving whether Landmark is a cult or not is a moot point. When everything is a cult, nothing is. In these extreme times of flooding the zone and canceling people for misspeaking, everyone is going to be left exposed. And then what? I often think, why couldn't Werner just have listened to me? What did Jerome see in me that made him so afraid that he ran from my gesture? Why couldn't Richard just have met me? Why didn't Lorinda care enough about me? I understand that I had the same pivotal choices that I have made. Why didn't I just surrender to Werner? Why didn't I just approach Richard after I was 18? Why didn't I just continue to be who I was? Werner transformed the bad boys so they would protect something, but then they wouldn't let it go. They were gatekeeping the very thing they said they wanted for the world. It became their precious. I was so clear from 8 to 17 on who I was, what this world is, and what I wanted. I was clear about what I wanted for the world and how to get there. I was clear on what was good and what was bad, and that I wanted to be a good person. What confused me was why people were doing the things they did to me. I was gaslighted into believing I was the bad person by my family, my environment, and society. I became the monster that was projected onto me. I am sorry.